Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Big Talk, your political episode of programs where we'll be taking a look at the most recent event at the National Assembly, where the All Progressive Congress (APC) wrote to the Senate earlier today asking for the suspension of Senator Ndume as a chief whip. And in a voice vote carried out by the Senate President, the caucus members of APC unanimously endorsed the removal of Senator Ndume as a Senate Chief Whip during the plenary earlier today. He's been replaced by Senator Tyree Mongono as his own predecessor in that very office. There's been a recent criticism about the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where the senator alleged that the president is being caged by some cabal. In what may happen as a twist of an event, it has been that the APC did not likely, of course, took that very common from the senator. And there have been also a concern that APC came to power through different protests, different criticism for the past 8 years and now another 4 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What then is a difference of what APC could not condone criticism, which is coming from the member, not just a first-timer in the Senate, but an experienced APC senator we've had at the National Assembly. Some Nigerians seem to be applauding the fact that the senator could have the boldness and the courage to speak out. My guest is a public affairs analyst tonight on the program to look at the suspension of Ndume and even the move that APC have asked him to resign from the party, what it means for Senator Ndume, what it means for APC, and what it means for Nigerians. Ezema, good to have you join us on the program tonight. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Yes, a lot of development. We've seen that ever since Ndume made the statement that Tinubu is being caged, at Aso Rock, that people cannot have access to the president, ministers cannot have access to the president. APC have not taken it lightly with him. They threatened that he will be suspended, and now he has been removed as the chief whip of the Senate. What does this mean? Because we've seen that APC is a party that came into government through protests, through criticism and all of that. Does it mean that APC has not changed?
Politics is about interest. When APC was the opposition party, some, say 9 years ago, they had all the time to criticize. They had all the times to tell us what was not going well in governance. But now that they are in office, they don't even want their own to speak. They don't even want their... That's why you look at the situation today. Most people, you see that some journalists, they will publish something. The moment they publish, the next thing you see is that the police will come after the person and all that. I remember the case where people, the case where journalists have been arrested in recent time. Several of them, I don't want to start mentioning names of them, but the thing is that each time you discover that at the end of the day, it's not as if what the person wrote was not truthful or not factual, but just that they don't want the people out there to know what is going on. So it is not out of place. In fact, the suspension has even proved Ndume right, because if Ndume could be suspended or asked to resign by his own party because he told the people of this country that the president has been probably caged by a cabal, that in other words, he's just trying to say, look, another cabal is being formed in government, that they are preventing the president from knowing what is the truth to getting the facts on ground. So, which is something that can happen. It can happen that the president may be there, he may not really know what is happening because they will tell him that everybody love you. I heard some people saying that it is possible that sometimes somebody who is the president will be reading a different newspaper than what is on the street, because it is, what does it take to print, is it not to reprint a newspaper? It can be done. So he will be reading and be thinking that the whole thing is Uhuru. But it's a big issue. It calls for question, why should a party now be gagged, a party that was having its way in terms of freedom of speech, freedom of expression when he was in opposition. Now that he's in government, you don't want people to talk, don't want people to say anything, don't want people to criticize, don't want people to make suggestions, don't want people to protest. What do you now want them to do? And the people are saying we are hungry. So what do you want the people to do? You want them to now say that everything is going on well when they are dying? It's not. I don't see the reason why somebody should be doing that. There's no place in Nigeria that everybody, whether you are a Christian, a Muslim, a Hindu, or a Babalawo, or whoever you are, or you belong to APC, PDP, Labour Party, or whatever party you belong to. At the end of the day, you will see that everybody is complaining of one thing, and that there's hunger in the land. People are hungry. They don't have money to buy food. And here is somebody saying, look, these people, there are certain, giving a hint that there are certain cabal being formed around the Mr. President, which is possible because certain individuals will want to be there, to prevent the president from having access to certain information because he's a president. He cannot move freely as he used to be. So it will depend on people. It will depend on the information he gets from people to be able to make decisions. So if the president does not really understand what is on ground, how can the president make an informed decision? He cannot be able to make policies, initiate policies that will solve such problems. So why should you now say, okay, you are now sacking somebody for just making a statement? What I expected is that they should come out and say, okay, what Ndume said was not correct. But by the time you have sacked him, you have told us that what the man said was correct.
Does this also replace the fact that we had a northern president in the last 8 years, and then probably the recent outcry, even the last senator who alleged that budget was padding, was being padded, was from the north, Ningi, Senator Ningi, and now Senator Ndume again from the north. Does it look like, the northern senators are really speaking because this time we're having the southern president? Does it look that way? Or the reality is the fact that people were not speaking during Buhari's administration, but people want to speak at Tinubu's administration?
Probably, because I think people saw Buhari as a military head of state, and there was this fear of being hounded and all that. So people may not be willing to speak. But you agree that there was cabal in that administration? It was a common knowledge. There was more cabal. Is that looking to Nigeria that there was more cabal in Buhari's administration? It was a common knowledge. There's no place that, in fact, even the government did not deny the presence of cabal, because I can't recall at any point that the government said, no, there's no cabal. Because every time people used to continue talking about cabal during the time of President Buhari, but nobody came out to say it was not correct. So it's just like in this instance, it is wrong for you to now respond in this manner because somebody made are we not in a democracy anymore? Can't people hold opinion anymore? You can come out as a party and say, look, what this man said is his personal opinion. It does not represent the opinion of the party, and that's ends it. Why now create a crisis out of something that is nothing? Making the man now to look like a champion. That was how they made Senator Ningi to become an international figure. Because they started, talking. And today, some people have been saying that Nigeria is operating four set of budgets. That is it. Because you saw recently that the Senate was extending a 2023 budget. So what does that mean? In 2024, you are extending 2023 budget. So what does that mean? That means that you have another budget. So what is different from what Senator Ningi said at the time? So it is alarming that a country that say they are practicing democracy will be acting in this manner. This is acting to a military regime where people are gagged, there's no opposition voices, and then people just have to sleep and put their hands in between their legs and then weep probably in their houses.
Because suspending a senator as a chief whip has to do with probably, I understand that it's the businesses of the Senate, but I mean, the majority takes it all in the Senate, in the floor of the Senate. So you understand that the sitting and the ruling APC has the greatest number in the floor of the Senate. And this also the fact that they were able to secure the position of the chief whip and the deputy Senate president, and the Senate president itself. Three main offices of the Senate, principal officers of the Senate. And now, we did say that it really warrants for the party not to caution, because we would have agreed, or the party calling you, to probably to order, cautioning you on what to say, the utterances you're giving out in the public, than taking an action of suspending a chief whip, not just of APC, chief whip of the Senate, Federal Republic of Nigeria. This, mind you, this is a government that told Nigerians that party is over, we should forge ahead. Does this really looks that they're holding the issue of political party ahead of Nigeria? What is first for them?
The truth of the matter is this. You see, the Nigerian Senate as we have it today is more or less like an appendage of the executive. You had Senator Akpabio the other day, the president of the Senate. He said, look, the president has not given us a request for, he has not presented a request to buy a private jet, and if he does, we will approve. That is telling us that, look, you are more or less an arm of the executive. It's not everything that you say. You cannot slap us and we're crying, and you now say, why are we crying? No, you can't do that. Or you say we should start slapping us the more to say we should keep quiet. No, you cannot beat a child and say the child should not cry. That is exactly what is happening in Nigeria. See a Senate that everything that the president brings, they pass. Everything without asking questions and nothing. At the end of the day, you just passed the budget, not up to how many months. You are now doing a supplementary budget because there was no proper scrutiny. There's no proper, oversight that is going on. So the president just wants a loan. You don't ask questions. The loans that have been taken all this while, where is the money? Where are the projects that you use the money to execute? You don't ask about that. All you need to do, the president has said, you just rubber stamp. What the president have said, you just rubber stamp. This president wants this, you rubber stamp. No, that is never. No country grows that way, and no democracy can grow without the voice of the opposition. You need the voice of the opposition for the president to know that what he is doing is not correct. Or they have just told us that what Ndume have said is actually what is happening. Otherwise, why should you even demand for his sack in the first place?
Very, very silent issues among other issues. I mean, the senator alleged that the only good thing that this government have done, or Tinubu has done, is the issue of local government autonomy. He pointed out that is the only greatest thing that Tinubu's administration has been able to achieve. To you, does this connect to the fact that it seems for 1 year, we can't really see tangible policies result addressing the many challenges of Nigerians? You understand the different policies that this government have brought to Nigerians. What does it look like?
It is actually difficult. Apart from the FCT, where you have some roads being opened here and there, by the FCT minister.
It's not the road of this administration. It started long ago.
Yeah, but you see some roads being opened here and there by the current, yes, completed, yes. But the rest of the country, you cannot see anything. There's nothing really. Okay, just check this Abuja-Lokoja road. For how long will it take? If not for certain interventions by some agencies, and which are not even Nigerian agencies, nobody would have been passing that road. See the FCT. Is this how FCT should be? Some places in FCT today, there's no water. For over 2 years, you will see that there are some areas that you cannot even find water. That is FCT, Federal Capital of a country called Nigeria. And then somebody is saying, look, there's something that is happening here. Instead of these people, saying, okay, let us come and expatiate. Because even if they had called him as a party and say, come, this thing you are saying is a germane issue. Come and expatiate. Come to a round table. Let us discuss this thing. Let us know whether what you are saying is correct or not. You just came up and woke up and you say you are sacking him because he criticized the administration. That's not how to how best to run an administration. If you do that, you are actually proving the guy right.
So if this is, I mean, the suspension is coming this time to a member of the APC, does it therefore mean that many Nigerians should be fair to speak? Because if you look at what happened in Kenya, the people went out on the street to express their intention to the President Ruto about the issues of another taxation bill and all of those concerns. Doesn't look like this government seems to be more, I mean, military than Buhari's administration.
You see, you cannot compare Nigeria, the emergence of the current leadership in Nigeria with the emergence of the current leadership in Kenya. No, they are two worlds apart. One was
still practicing democracy.
Yes, we are practicing democracy, but the kind of democracy that we practice that produces leaders here was not the kind of democracy that produced
the electoral commission.
Let us not start looking at issues as if we are not Nigerians. People, no matter what the court rules, the people know what actually happened. So you cannot, because the courts have ruled and they have they now ordered the killing of somebody for offense he did not commit. Does that mean that the court is right? The court may have, based on circumstantial evidence, convict somebody. I have seen cases where somebody will be sentenced in a court, and at the end of the day, another court will set the person free. What does that mean? Assuming the process ended with that court, the person would have been killed, or probably the person would have been in jail without anybody committing an offense. So you don't at this point, as we are in a democracy, we don't start doing things as if we are living in a banana republic or we are living in a military era. No, these are two extremes. These are two extremes. But what you do is that let's consider dialogue. Let's consider dialogue. It's not everything you react. And the way you react, most of the times they react wrongly. Like in this Senator Ndume's case. Why should you at this point, come and say you are asking him to go? Even if you want him to go, there is a way to go about it. You wait. After the dust have settled, you quietly ease him out. You must not react immediately, and at the end of the day, you tell us that you have something that you are hiding. Exactly, that is what the administration has done.
A lot of concern to be worried about, but we have to go on a break, and once we return from the break, we will be looking at the fate of Senator Ndume in APC, because the party have warned him to rather resign now or probably risk suspension from the party itself or whatever action that the party might take against him. But we'll be back to look at the fate of political party, what it looks for internal democracy indeed in Nigeria's different political parties. Right after this break, we'll make that discussion. Do stay with us.
Every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on Global Television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you. Watch Business Point every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. as Kikelamo Okeri tracks all the latest developments across critical sectors. Business Point, this is business.
Are you ready to be entertained like never before? Get ready to dive into the latest and greatest entertainment news in lifestyle, music, movies, birthday celebration, and so much more. All on Entertainment Circle on Global Television. From the hottest red carpet event to exclusive interviews with your favorite stars, we've got you covered. Stay up to date with the latest trends and news from the entertainment world, all in one place. Tune in every Saturday by 1 p.m. with Chung Annabelle Joseph on Global Television.
Exciting news! Global Television, your trusted news and current affairs station, will be available on DSTV channel 365 and all multi-choice platforms as from Thursday, 18th July 2024. Stay informed with us wherever you are. Global Television on DSTV channel 365, the pride of the nation.
Many thanks everyone for still staying with us on the program Big Talk. We're looking at the implication of the fact that Senator Ndume this time have been rejected at the floor of the Senate as the chief whip. And running to his party is also rejecting him, threatening him to resign from the party. It now looks like Ndume has nowhere to run to. It also looks at the fact that the internal democracy in the country and in APC as the ruling political party is also not showing good example to other parties in terms of the fact that what Ndume said is of public interest. The criticism of the president is to be aware of the crisis and the issues and the realities on ground is of the public interest. And for no reason, many people are saying that the party ought not to admit that move. But the national chairman took the bold step to write to the Senate asking that he should be dropped as the chief whip. They are concerned about this is the ruling party. Internal democracy, internal politicking in the party, it also should show some dividends of transparency. Does this really depict APC as a party that has good example to other political parties? I understand other political parties are having crisis. Even Labour Party, even People's Democratic Party are all having crisis. But in this other move, is it in order in terms of deepening internal democracy in our country?
You see, there's no way you can deepen internal democracy without allowing people to aid their views. There's no internal democracy without free speech. Once there's no free speech, you have removed one very vital aspect of internal democracy. So we cannot be talking about democracy in any form without free speech. So this person have said something that is very, very vital. Yes, he could have he could have been extreme in the terms of using the issue of a cage, but that doesn't diminish the fact that he made a salient point that requires even the president himself and the party to say, let us come together. Let's see whether what this man is saying is correct. You have to hear him out before you even crucify him. If you don't, then you have destroyed the essence of democracy. There's no way you can say that APC is a good example of a democracy where somebody cannot air his view, you cannot speak, you cannot say anything. Is that is not an example at all. It's not a good example of what a democracy should be. People should be able to aid their view. What the other person, Senator Ningi, he earned a suspension from the Senate. because he held his view. He said something on the floor of the Senate. Not that he said something about what is happening in the Senate. It's not as if he has committed any crime, but just because he voiced out. So if you don't want people to voice out, what you are telling us is that you are breathing a time bomb that is going to burst one of the days, because when people bottle up what is in their mind, they cannot express it. At the end of the day, you will see what is happening everywhere. There's no place in the world where people bottle what is eating them up in between, that that country will survive. People should be allowed to speak. Whether the person is in APC, PDP, Labour Party, or whatever party, the person should be allowed to speak. That is the essence of democracy. Democracy is not only about going to vote for an election and coming back. No, you vote for freedom. When you are voting, you vote for freedom. It's not about who won the election. No, the person that wins the election is coming as a president of the country to ensure that people have their say.
All right. A lot of concern. We look forward to seeing that the APC will put their house in order and this time take an action that will be suitable for both the senator involved and other senators in the Senate, and also the fact that this shouldn't be an attack on the National Assembly and our legislators. We cannot have this happen in the executive and now wants to happen in the legislature. People should be both, just as the Zema have shared, to clearly state their minds and views on public interests for the national development. That's the size of a package on a conversion tonight on Big Talk. Thanks so much, James Zema, the public affairs analyst, for joining us on the program tonight and giving your views on this. We look forward to having a change in the internal democracy of many political parties, even in the Labour Party, that we're also still having a lot of crisis. My name is Edikan Michael. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow, where we'll be coming with another dimensions of discussion. At that time, looking critically to the state of the nation. Thanks so much for staying with us. God bless Nigeria.